Hello, this is the 175th edition of Catch of the Day, available on the Branch Talk YouTube channel. Today we're going to continue reading from a book written by Doug Mitchell, entitled The Four Carpenters, the Ensign, the Time of Jacob's Trouble, and the First Deliverance. Starting near the top of page 13, says, While Brother Hotif spoke of the Assyrian fortifying himself when confronted with he who dashes in pieces, track 14, he didn't comment on this aspect of God using the Assyrian as the rod of his anger to punish the hypocritical nation. That's because in his day the scroll had not unrolled far enough to shed light on these and the other verses around it, as what is described in those verses takes place before the saints possess the land. We need to understand the matter before it occurs, and our relationship to it. That is, what God would have us do while those events are transpiring, and what they are a sign of. The important question, then, is, who is the hypocritical nation? The people of the Lord's wrath. We know that it can't be any of those countries that make up the Assyrian, U.S., England, and allies, because they are the ones who are to do the punishing. Brother Hotif did not, or he did, identify that hypocritical nation, though not in the context of that portion of Isaiah's prophecy. He revealed that truth in his comments on the second chapter of Zephaniah. Zephaniah 2, 1 and 2. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired, before the decree break forth, before the day pass, as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Let us note that the nation in question is to gather itself together, that she is not desired, that the anger of the Lord is to fall upon her, and that she is to gather herself together before the decree brings forth, and before the anger of the Lord falls upon her. What makes this nation gather together? Certainly not the decree, and not the Lord's anger, for these are to come upon her after she gathers together. The decree certainly cannot be the beast decree, for there is not even a thought in the scripture that would so indicate, but it certainly points out that the decree is none other than the Lord's decree, the fierce anger of the Lord in the day that passes as chaff. According to the verse that follows, this undesirable nation's gathering together is a signpost to God's people, urging them to continue seeking Him so much the more. Zephaniah 2, verse 3. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought His judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. When this judgment-bound nation begins to gather together, then it is, if never before, that the meek of the earth need to seek meekness. The meek of the earth are those who have wrought the Lord's judgments, who have proclaimed the message of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. They are His people, His church. The nation that is not desired, therefore, is one people, and the meek of the earth, the church, those who are hid in the day of the Lord's anger, are another people. The one is gathering together, the other is seeking meekness. Definitely, then, the nation of verses 1 and 2 are not the church, not His church. But the people of verse 3 are His people, His church. in view of the fact that this scripture is now, in 1947, being unfolded, and also the fact that there is but one people, one nation, the descendants of the ancient scribes, priests, and Pharisees who rejected the Lord and who have not even to this day accepted him, that are hardly desired anywhere in the world, that is now doing all she can to gather together in Palestine. In view of all this, the present-day Jews are that undesired nation. Upon her, therefore, the Lord's anger is to fall, if she continues to deny Christ. Yes, the universally hated Jew is the only nation that has been scattered throughout the Gentile world, and is the only one that is now gathering together in Palestine. 1 TG 22, page 23 to 25. Therein we found out who the hypocritical nation is, the unbelieving Jews. We say that because he further identifies them as the judgment-bound nation, which will have the decree, the fierce anger of the Lord brought forth upon them after they gathered together. Isaiah was shown that the Assyrian is the rod of God's anger, and the staff in his hand is his indignation against the people of his wrath. Isaiah 10, verses 5 and 6. As the same event is to happen to the hypocritical nation, as is to happen to the nation not desired, who have been gathering together, then they are the same people, the unbelieving Jews, who do not seek meekness and the Lord. Interesting. Take care.